guys, welcome to Kipoerneke's Corner. I am back over in EverQuest Legends at the moment, and I'm doing a little bit of crafting. I've gotten over to the forge over here in Kaladim, and I have created some tarnished weapons out of rusty weapons. And so now I'm going to try to make some bricks of ore out of what I have here. Although I apparently have some cinnamon sticks in my hand at the moment, so let's stick those down. There we go. That's better. Now, see if we can go through here and try to find some stuff to make. Here's something here. Gonna click combine and then just click in to auto inventory there so that it can all, combine itself into stacks without me having to actually find those stacks. And the hope is that we, make at least one piece with every combine we do. The reality is that won't happen because, you only have a certain % chance for it to go through. So far so good. This next one will probably not make how we imagine, but we'll see. It did. Very nice. Okay, I'm down with that. So we've made all of the small bricks of ore that we could. Now we're working on the small pieces of ore, which I feel like, I don't know, I had thought originally that it had to do with the size of the item as to whether it made one or two of the pieces and whether it made bricks or pieces to start with. But now I'm thinking maybe that's not exactly the case. Maybe it's more that it's the amount of metal that's in the piece. So like, I mean, a staff, for instance, wouldn't have as much metal in it as a sword, or like I don't know, things like that. I feel like, and of course, a smaller weapon like a dagger wouldn't have as much in it either. I don't know, just a thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's try making ore from bricks, from pieces of ore. We're going to try to make bricks of ore. Looks like we can try that a couple of times because we have 7 of the pieces of ore and it takes 3 to attempt to make one. We also need water for this. Don't let that slip by you because water is a necessity for this process as well. So after making all of those bricks of ore, we're now going to see if we can make any metal sheets. So they call it sheet metal. There it is. And let's combine. And of course, we did not manage to make that. We got nothing for our efforts. All right, well, that's great. We can try it again. Let's see. Oh, we made a piece of sheet metal that time. Very nice. Okay, so we've combined all of those pieces of gear into now one sheet of metal and some bricks and one piece of ore. So we lost a little bit of water in the process. That's not a huge deal. All right, very nice. Now, let's see, where do I want to go? Okay, I also don't really know exactly what I want to do with the metal. The sheet metal, that is. I know that it has a lot of things it can do with it. But what do I want to do with it? I've been doing some cooking. And one thing is, these metal bits are used for things like the, this recipe here, which I'm looking at cookie cutter. Animal-shaped cookie cutter. I don't have an animal-shaped cookie cutter, nor do I have a barbarian-shaped cookie cutter, but it's also not on my list that I made of things that I actually need for anything that I can make. So I'm not exactly all that concerned about that. What else might I want to make with this? We got a bread tin over here, same sort of situation. I don't currently have any reason to have a bread tin. I'm sure that'll come into play later. Here's a bucket. What could possibly a bucket be needed for? Maybe that's for doing some metalworking. We might need a bucket. I don't know. Not sure what a bucket is used for in this case. We've got a cake round here. There's all kinds of interesting things. A file. You would think a file would be very useful for shaping things, for metalworking, for cutting off rough edges. How does one use a file? I have no idea. There's also folded sheet metal. Now, if we had a smithy hammer, we could make some folded sheet metal. Well, I guess we couldn't because we would need a block of ore, which I didn't even I didn't even look to see about a block for how to go about that. Do we just combine the bricks of ore into a block? That would make sense to me. We got a forged bastard sword here. Now that uses sheet metal, which I have. But it also uses three different molds. We got a dual-edged blade mold, a hilt mold, and what is this? This is a pommel mold. So we would buy all of the molds. Now, here's another interesting question. Can we use pottery skills to make molds ultimately? You would think that we could, but I don't know if that's a thing in this game or not. So, something to keep in mind. Can we or can we not make pottery molds if we got our pottery skill up a little bit? Not sure. If we could, that would be super cool. All right, Forged Morning Star. Same kind of situation. We got the metal for it. We don't have the spiked ball mold or the hilt mold. It could be that we just would have to buy those things. Not really sure. Got a gnome-shaped cookie cutter. All kinds of cookie cutters. Don't know exactly what I want to do with this stuff, you know? This is a green large fine plate helmet, I think. Helm, yes. It would take green dye, jar of lacquer, jar of acid, and a large fine plain helmet. So we would already have to have a large fine plain plate helmet. And then essentially we would just be, I guess, painting it green with a nice little lacquer. All right. Interesting. Could make a lantern. I mean, we couldn't make a lantern because we don't quite have the stuff. We would have to break some of that down into metal bits. But there's the potential of making lacquer. Metal bits. You make those from small pieces of ore. I currently have one small piece of ore. It takes two to make some metal bits. They're easy to come by. So no problem there. Metal rings. What do we need those for? Who knows? Maybe we would need them if we wanted to make some brass knuckles. I see that the file comes in handy when you're trying to make the metal rings. So the file is, in fact, used at the forge. Good to know. We got a muffin tin here. Now, I haven't had any need for a muffin tin yet with the baking, but I feel like that could definitely come into play. So, looks like, again, we would need a muffin tin mold. We could have the metal bits. And we would need a ceramic lining. How do we make a ceramic lining? Again, no idea. The amount I do know about this game is much less than the amount I don't. I can tell you that right now. Okay, a pie tin is one of the things on my list here. I've made a list of the different things that I need for cooking and things like that. You need for other abilities, whether it's cooking or it's pretty much cooking actually at the moment. Okay, so the pie tin can be made. We would just need a pie tin mold, some metal bits, and some ceramic lining. I'm guessing that the ceramic lining is something that we would have to purchase. Can we make it? I don't know. If we could make it, where would it be? Maybe the pottery group could make ceramic lining. They deal with ceramics, right? I don't know. I'm very curious about it, and maybe I need to go check out the pottery area some more. There's going to be a potter's wheel, and there's going to be a kiln over there. So something to think about. We've also got the pot. I've tried making a pot in another way over on the pottery wheel, and I did not succeed. But maybe this pot is easier to make. I don't know. That pot required some ingredients, different ingredients. You didn't have to buy the two molds like you do here. We got a pot mold and a standing legs mold. Now, for the pottery one, you needed a pot mold, you needed water, you needed, like, I think metal bits, and you needed a block of clay, I believe is what we needed. I think specifically it was a large block of clay. And I did not succeed at that venture. I think I was fairly far from succeeding, to be honest. But it is a possibility to make a pot on the potter's wheel, just so you know. You don't have to make it on the forge. We got a scaler here, and again, that's something that we'll probably be using within this same craft, within the same trade skill. A scaler. All right, we got a sewing needle. I actually think I bought a sewing needle. I think I have one. Yeah, I have a simple sewing needle. Now, is this different, this sewing needle here, than the simple sewing needle that I already have? I don't know. We would need a jar of acid. That sounds like something we would buy somewhere. We would need a needle mold, smithy hammer, and then, of course, high quality metal bits. Oh, nice, nice. And also some steel bits. Okay, interesting. So we currently have sheet metal. Now, hold on. I can apparently make more sheet metal. I did not realize that I had more left. Let's go ahead and try that. We got it. Very nice, very nice. All right, so scaled quiff takes loose scales and Chester's unfinished quiff. Nice. Skewers. Okay, skewers were something that we could use, obviously, for cooking. I didn't write them down, or maybe, you know what? I think I wrote them down as things to buy. Turns out we don't need to buy them. We can just, yeah, let's mark that off the list. So we can make it right here. And I'm going to switch where that is on my list for when we go live. I'm going to know this stuff, or at least I'm going to have the ability to do this stuff, whether or not I know it. All right, so skewers are available right here. And what does it take to make them? We need some metal bits. Hey, this is simple. We just need a skewer mold, some metal bits, and some water. Unfortunately, I can't buy from these merchants here because I'm an ogre and they hate me. But when I go back to Ogre, I could get a skewer mold, and then I could make some skewers. Now, this is assuming that I can't make the molds on the pottery wheel. Now, the pottery wheel isn't where you would make a mold, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that there. But it's at least related, I feel like. I don't know. You know, my father and my grandmother, they used to make their own molds, and so I actually have some molds that they made. Rummaging around, they definitely did not use a pottery wheel to do it. Just so you know, so more of a you use felt carving, and then you use whatever whatever you're using. You can use plaster or whatever to make your molds. But anyway, water flask, skewers, metal bits. We got a smoker support mold and smoker base mold. We would need all of those things to make a smoker. So the main things, it looks like we could make the skewers, right? Easy enough. We would need the metal bits, which we could easily do. So the only real obstacle here are these molds again. These molds seem to be a real issue. We got steel boning here. Looks like it takes a file. That's the only part that I'm missing to make steel boning is the file. We can make the file. Interesting. Studs, all right. Looking for a stud? You can make your own. All right. We got a file and then a few pieces of metal bits for that. Nice. Okay. All right. We're going to skip past all this tarnished stuff. We know what that is. And then there's throwing knives. That could certainly come in handy. Looks like it takes iron ore. I have no idea where to get iron ore. Looks like there's iron. That must be silver. Silver. Nice. Silver. And then tin to make those different throwing knives. And then various... I wonder... I assume that the troll-shaped cookie cutter is to make troll-shaped cookies, but what are the ingredients for these different cookies? I wonder. Do we need troll bits to make troll-shaped cookies? Surely not. Surely we would just need some dough and a cookie cutter of the appropriate type, right? One would think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong on that. All right, let's see here. One way or another, we've gotten a few things made here and a few things that we could make. I'm curious about the pottery wheel, though. Steve Pottery. Well, hey, let's just click find. That would be smarter, wouldn't it? Go down here and then find the pottery wheel. Let's go check it out. Can we, in fact, make any molds whatsoever on the pottery wheel? Almost. Oh, yeah. Now it fell off. So I saved myself from falling only to fall. That's all right. I don't think that I have safe fall yet as a skill. I don't know if... I don't know. I think it is a skill, I think. Um, Probably. It certainly is in EverQuest 2. And I feel like I saw a save fault trigger on the closed beta. But you know, I'm also not certain of that, so don't quote me there. Alright, here we go. Off in search of the pottery wheel. Let's see here. Going this way. Let's hide that so that we can see. Okay. The pottery wheel and the kiln are very close to each other, and they're by the tailor, for what that's worth. If only we knew where the tailor was. Let's come over here and try to beg from the soulbinder. Yeah? Okay. Hey, I'm getting better at begging. That's great. Also scrounged up a pot of water, which is nice. Normally I try to beg from people and it just is like, nah, your attempt at begging was unsuccessful and that's about all there is to it. But this time it says, nah, you gained a point. Awesome. Now, wait a minute, can we actually... Nah, we can't talk to that. We can talk to her, she just doesn't care. Okay, let us start over here with the pottery wheel and see what all we can make. I've done this before, but I have forgotten what all we could get. So we're gonna try again. Search recipes. There's so few that I have, and I suppose that's because I haven't done enough work at pottery, probably. I imagine that the more we do, the more we'll be able to do, just like the other things, right? So, how does one make anything? Okay, block of clay. I apparently have a block of clay, and I have water. So with that, I could make, you know, a small block of clay. That's very interesting. Let's do it. All right, we wasted our block of clay. Now I remember that I had bought the block of clay. Let's come here. Nope, nothing doing there. How about this one? So, try to make a block of clay from a large block of clay, or we could try it from a small block of clay. We don't have enough of those. Block of reddish clay? No, none of that. All right, there's very little that I can do here. I will try to combine this, and well, that was a sad attempt right there. So now I've used up all of my clay, I think. Let me make sure that yes, okay, I think so. I believe all of my materials are now gone. So what do we have over here on the kiln? I think it's going to be a similar situation where we don't see very much. Now, what skill does this use? I have no idea. Is it also? Yeah, okay, it says pottery. Is that our skill level? Is it 5? Hold on, let's check. It shows a 5 there. Oh, it is. How cool. So it uses the pottery skill. And that's our skill. That's just terrible. This is why we fail. All right, let's search. Okay, so you can make the animal-shaped cookie cutter over here as well. Interesting. So, well, okay, but we would have to have an unfired animal cookie cutter. Interesting. Okay. It's an artisan seal. I don't have any artisan seals. So we would, you know, you'd have to make something on the pottery thing and then you fire it at the kiln, obviously. But I was thinking there might be things. I'm assuming that all of these things that are unfired here that we will eventually be able to make on the pottery wheel if we had more progress in that, right? Does that seem right? I think that seems right. Because I don't know anywhere that we can buy unfinished things. Now, maybe we can. I could definitely be wrong. But so we can make the ceramic lining. That's good information. The ceramic lining is what's used to make some of the other things. For like, for some of the tools that you can make at the forge. So, good to know. Ceramic lining is made at the, probably... we would want to make the unfired ceramic lining at the pottery wheel and then make the ceramic lining at the kiln here. Very interesting. All right, there's a firing sheet. let's see. How odd. So to make a firing sheet, we would have to have a firing sheet and an unfired gray jar. Does that seem right to you? It doesn't seem right to me. Have to have a firing sheet to make a firing sheet? Don't know about that. Maybe it meant an unfired firing sheet? And an unfired gray jar? Who knows? I'm a little confused by the whole thing. The picture is definitely showing what appears to be a glass jar, but clearly it is not a glass jar. All right, let's see here. What else we got? We got a large bowl. That's very nice. All right, we'll be able to make bowls. Clay jars, poison vials, nice. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, there's the muffin tin, pie tin, pot. So all those things we can make here just as easily as we can make them over there. And skewers, you can also make skewers here. Interesting. All right, so we have a lot of, oh, the smoker is available here as well. High quality firing sheet, 2 of those, and an unfired smoker. Sonic wolf shaped cookie cutter, that's very specific. Okay, well, very good to know. I obviously can't really do anything with it right now because I don't know any way to get the clay except to buy it. And I could easily be wrong on that. If anyone knows any other way to get clay, feel free to let me know because I don't know. But from what I can tell, I don't have any way to do that. All right, now let's go and find the oven and the brewing barrel so that we can try to do a little bit of brewing and a little bit of cooking, maybe. I've mentioned before the crafting in this game is much different than it is in EverQuest 2. Now there were some similarities when EverQuest 2 first came out, in that there was like sorry, stop by the forge again real quick. It would be like one class would make parts that the other class would need as far as the trade skillers went, and so you'd need like metal studs and things like that in order to make like you know, say you wanted to make a hauberk, you would need, maybe you might need some straps and metal rings and things like that. And then, you know, you'd have to combine all of that to make your full piece. And that was back when they had what were called sub-combines. Now I see that they got the concept the same, right? So sub-combines are obviously a thing that must have existed in EverQuest 1 because that's where this EverQuest Legends got its this whole process from, I'm sure. So clearly EverQuest 2 picked that part of the crafting up. The crafting itself is entirely different, but that initial implementation was including the sub-combines. Above, the chemist says there are critters that drop clay. Nice. I think there are some relatively low-level ones in the Gorge of Zorb called Mudmen. I think that's awesome. Where on earth is the Gorge of Zorb? Zorb sounds like an evil eye. Is it going to be like Enchanted Lands? I don't even know how to get to Enchanted Lands yet. It sounds like Enchanted Lands to me. Alright, let's see here. Search and see what I can make. And I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to make, you know, I started to say something and now I'm taking that back. I'm not sure what I'm going to make yet. I'm going to look around and see what looks like what I want to make at the moment. Alright, so far, good news, I can't make much. Limits my options a little bit. It's too bad, you know, I'm just one thing away from quite a few things, like these grapes. Where does one find grapes? I know that we probably forage them, but where do we forage grapes? Because I've noticed that we get different things in different areas. Let's go ahead and make this flask of berry juice. and then we'll auto inventory that. That's great because it makes 5 of them, and I like making 5. Don't know where to get the raspberries either. These are foreign concepts to me. I feel like the grapes should be something that we can find at one of the lower level areas, because that just seems right to me. I can make some more honey mead. What we learned yesterday about the alcohol, and I don't know if different ones do different things or not, but certainly the one that I tried increased strength and stamina for a very brief duration, and decreased, I think, dexterity and agility. Not sure about charisma. Let's try making another one. I think it was honey mead that I had made and used yesterday. We didn't make it that time. We made a cat. We got our cask back, which is what we've done again. We have a 50% chance to make it almost, not quite, 48%, now 49%. But mostly what we're making is a lot of casks. So we're wasting a lot of ingredients, not doing much with it. That's all right, because we're getting up our skill. So I just made a lot of, what was that, 6? I think I just went through 6 attempts and got 0 honey mead out of the deal. That's, to me, I'm not feeling the 50% chance there. Above the chemist says it's on the other side of Veronia, so it is in Enchanted Lands. Nearest town is Rivervale, or you can also access it via East Corona. Okay, so I guess the question is there anything in this game that is called Enchanted Lands? Because what you're talking about is things that I'm familiar with the names of, right? So Runny-Eye in EverQuest 2 is off of Enchanted Lands. Rivervale is also off of Enchanted Lands. So they're dungeons within Enchanted Lands. And I'm assuming that, okay, so does Enchanted Lands exist? Or no? Or you can also access it via East Corona. I should know that name as well, but I can't place it. Like, Corona is in my brain somewhere, but I'm not quite grasping it. Zorb is an evil eye, and there are some eyes that wander the same path as the Mudmen. Nothing called Enchanted Lands that I'm aware of. Okay, all right. So the name isn't going to be there. I'm just going to have to look for the locations surrounding them. Are there a bunch of halflings in the area, and there's like some halfling villages nearby? I'll have to go and explore this. Now, in EverQuest 2, Enchanted Lands is like a level 30-ish zone. You start around level 30 there. But I don't think that necessarily applies here. The levels seem to be very different here for the zones, as well as the shape of things is not always the same. It's similar. There's a lot of similarities in the map, but not the same. All right, so I've gone through all of my rural honey here. Let's go on down. I could make some malted milk. I don't know that I want to. Those are all supplies you can just buy off of a merchant. We've got some mead we can make, and it looks like these also are all supplies you can buy off of a merchant. So if you wanted to fund raising your skills by just pouring money into it, you could just buy these items that are necessary for this and just make a lot of alcohol, sit around attempting to make mead and such. Above the chemist says, yes, Rivervale is the halfling town. Right, sure, of course. From there you cross Misty Thicket, then you can skirt the top level of Runny-Eye to get to the gorge. Okay, alright, cool. I'm trying to think of where this would be. Like, I know where it would be on the map in EverQuest 2. Now, in EverQuest 2, you get to Enchanted Lands via the dock. I don't know if that's just going to be the case here or not. You have to go, well, you can go there by the dock, or you can go there by, like the Druid Rings or the Wizard Spires. But you can't just run to Enchanted Lands. There's no direct path like that. It's just, it's an island. Alright, let's see here. What else might I have? Ogre Swill. Okay, now Ogre Swill is a little bit different. We have some frog meat involved here. I'm down to only 9 casks. I'm kind of okay with that. I can try to make some frog meat swill, you know? Why not? Let's go. And it's ogre swill. I'm an ogre. Sure, let's go. Let's make some casks. I'm very good at making casks. Look at that, though. I got some ogre swill. That's got to be good for me, right? I'm sure if it has frog meat in it, it's bound to be great. Above, the chemist said all these areas are roughly midway between Freeport and Kinos, if you're familiar with Antonica in general. So, all right, in EverQuest 2, we have all of those places: Freeport, Kinos, Antonica, yes. But the thing is that Antonica is right outside of Kinos. I have yet to find Antonica or Kinos in this game. Freeport and Kinos, you know, you have to run a good distance to get from Freeport to Kinos. Like, you've got to go, so from Freeport, you'd have to go through Common Lands, Neck Forest, take the docks over to Thundering Steps, then go through Antonica, then you can hit Kinos. So whether that's the case here or not, I'm uncertain. I've seen Freeport. It's going to be a trick to get through Freeport all the way, and I don't know which direction to go through there. But I don't think that I need to, because I've seen Neck Forest, or what I believe to be Neck Forest, on the map off of, I think, West Common Lands. I think off of West Common Lands, there was a zone line to Neck Forest, maybe. But I haven't actually been in there yet. Above, the chemist says Antonica is the continent that most of the EQ zones are on, with Freeport in the east and Kinos in the west. Okay. Interesting. All right, so you wouldn't go through Neck Forest? I'm not sure. Maybe I can use the zone guide, if nothing else, to get there. That zone guide is pretty cool. And I think maybe it should be implemented like kind of across MMOs in general, because being able to just search for what zones are going to be your level is pretty awesome. Now, I do like people asking things like that in chat, like, hey, where should I go as a level 7, berserker solo or something like that, right? I think that that's good for the community. But I feel like that's still going to be a question asked, like, hey, where's the best place? And then someone can tell you, and you can go to your zone guide, and you can find that spot, and then you can have a path guide you over there, instead of having to go step by step with people, just sort of helping you out. That's a bigger of an ask than just saying in general, where should I go, right? Let's do some short ale here. Or another recipe for a cask. It's another option. All right. We're out of our hops, unfortunately, which is going to limit our abilities to make casks. That's okay. Keep going and see what other fun things we can get. We've got a Stormguard root beer that we can make, which is awesome. Let's do it. What is this? Okay, that's the yeast that we have left. All right. Hey, we actually made it. Amazing. Cool. Above, the chemist says, seeing it on a map would make more sense, sure. Sadly, I don't think there is an in-game map that shows all of the zones. Yeah, that's unfortunate. No world map. It's interesting because this game has a lot of things in it, like I mentioned, that I really feel would be great to be implemented in other games as well. But it also is lacking a lot of things that I feel are commonly in other games. Now, I'll tell you something else. My forage button seems to be a little bit broken, and I don't know exactly why. Maybe I need to switch around where things are. I seem to have a space in between there that I don't remember. I'm gonna do slash what is it, slash pause 2 or slash pause 2. Maybe I can hit a 2. There we go. 2. It's a hard one. Just to see, you know what? Let's do one here too. Slash pause 2. it's because it feels like those, for some reason, something was erased there. And maybe that's why it's not auto-inventorying properly like it had been. Not sure, but I figure we'll give it a go. Maybe it will auto-inventory properly now. We have 3 of the pots of water. If we had core, we could make a water flask. No such luck. All right, so I think we're out of ability to make things. Well, no, we can still make one of these ales. Let's give that a go. We have a 22% chance to make ale. Let's see if there's anything else close by that maybe we could make prior to trying that recipe. If we get our chance up a little bit, because as you have probably noticed, you know, I don't have the best of luck. So 22% chance is highly unlikely. I feel certain that I'm gonna get a cask out of this deal. Well, let's do it. And we got a cask. All right, cool. All right, I'm just glad it gives you a cask back. That's better than nothing. Above the chemist says live EQ has a zone map, but I've not found one yet in EQL. Well, okay, so sometimes you get this, right? And this is like the best scenario. In the overland zones and in dungeons, overland zones haven't been so bad so far, but the dungeons have been very, very not good about giving us maps. That's what I've noticed anyway. All right, let's see. The other thing I want to find is the oven, and we'll see if we can make anything fun over there. I think it's always kind of a good idea to go make some stuff once your bags start filling up. That way you can fill your bags with more stuff, right? Now, that did not work for some reason. I must have clicked something poorly. I try again. Clicked oven. All right. We went through that time. All is well. All right. Now, if I can remember to keep targeting NPCs as I go by, then I can just do a little jog toward them, and sometimes I can activate the begging that way and try to get my begging skill up, because surely I need to have a little bit of beggar in me. It doesn't necessarily go off, but sometimes it does. So normally it's just like, nah, you're not close enough for begging. We beg very quietly. We need to whisper. Tisa, do you have a coin? That's how we speak. That's how ogres talk. All right, now, what are we gonna do? We're gonna just search recipes, I think. And I know I don't have any pumpkin seeds, but it's always fun to check. I have an extremely large number of bat wings, and we could definitely get some bat wings going here. I think I'm gonna wait on it. It's a skill of 46, and while I feel that we will be able to get the skill up during that process, if I could make some of the lower skill requirement stuff like the edible goo would be nice. I'm unfortunately out of rat ears. You don't hear that every day. Most of the time in my life, I don't even want rat ears. But, you know, times are different in EverQuest Legends. Sometimes you need a little bit of edible goo. You absolutely have to have rat ears to get it. There's no other way. So, what a shame. What a shame. Pretty sure I don't have any eggs. You know, I just had a realization. I wonder if I can just type in egg on this find item. Can we just type in egg? Find items? Amazing. Does it look in the trade skill depot? I don't know. This is unclear. Let's make sure by typing in something we know we have, like water, right? Where is our water? Okay. It shows that we have a pot of water in general 1.7. 7. That implies right here. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so that's bag 1, slot 7, or yes, I think so. Bag 1, slot 2, All right, let's try bone chips. All right. Bone, we'll just tap bone. So okay. Yes, I think that what's happening is here we're not seeing the trade skill depot. Now we can see the trade skill depot by clicking this button, but as far as using the search bar itself in the find is not finding the things in the trade skill depot. I don't know if it would find the things in the dragon sword or not. Not sure. But this is a very cool feature to find. I like it. I wonder if it works like in EverQuest you can do /find. Let's do /find bone. Doesn't work here. Okay. Pretty cool though. Definitely something to keep in mind. And it means that I can come over here and just look up egg in the trade skill depot, and I've checked everywhere else, so I know now that I do not have any eggs of any kind, so I can skip over noodles and omelets. Pickled pixie. Okay, now I definitely grabbed some vinegar. So all I would need is meats of these kind, which I did have froglock earlier, and I used it to make some ogre swill or whatever. So I can make some pickled gator. Who knew you could make pickled gator? Nice, let's do it. Actually, is that okay? So that's actually harder to make than the batwing crunchies. So maybe I'll hold off so that I can make sure to get that pickled gator. Pickled lizard also. Oh my gosh, it's a brand new world out there. All right. We've got some definite pickled options. I really want that pot. It's getting in the way of a lot of things here. I have many things that I need to make. But that's okay. Vegetable soup is also, you know, it's a linchpin, man. All right, we got a loaf of bread. We got wolf meat. Let's make a wolf sandwich. We made one of those yesterday too. I don't know if some of these things give stats or not. I feel like probably some of them do, but I don't know which ones. So I guess we've made our wolf sandwich. It was nice and easy. Let's go back up and see about those batwing crunchies times a million. I've been hunting bats like a mad person because I'm trying to get bat fur. And so I've killed plenty of bats, got plenty of bat wings. Now, another thing about a bat wing is that you need a bat wing in order to cast the spell Levitate. And I haven't yet found a use for Levitate, but I feel like maybe it can get you over gorges, maybe it can get you, I don't know, does it lift you or does it just hover you? I'm not really sure. So maybe useful, maybe not as useful. Hard to say. We're doing okay on the batwing crunchies, and we're definitely getting skill up a little bit. So that's a good thing. And we'll have a little bit of food to munch on. Not just edible goo. We're now going to have some batwing crunchies to go along with our edible goo. And potential ogre swill, right? Above the chemist says, okay, Live EQ has a world map I meant. Core wording on the passing. Right, gotcha. Yeah, EQ2 also has a world map. It's pretty nice to have a world map and to be able to look at zones that you're not currently in. So say you want to go somewhere, but you're not sure, you know, what you're getting into, you can look ahead by using the world map and going and checking things out. And I definitely like that ability in EverQuest too. It would be cool to have here, but I understand, you know, I understand the nostalgia aspect as well. And, you know, there's a fine line, right, between having utility and making something too easy. So, you know, having a little bit of adversity in the gaming is a good thing. So I'm okay with it. So once I'm done with all these bat wings, then I think I'll go and, you know what, I should also periodically scrounge up some things. Okay, now I'm going to note that I scrounged up this water and it did not auto inventory it in spite of my pauses that I added. So what is it that is wrong here? I don't know. Do I need, okay, says that there's another, let's try something, slash help normal. Because, let's go up to the auto stuff. And so auto inventory, slash auto inventory should be working. And then there's slash auto merge inventory. Well, hold on. Let's try something a little different. Let's instead go up here, instead of doing slash pause 2, let's just do slash auto inventory. And I haven't tried, I've tried the slash auto merge inventory before, and it didn't work. Let's try it again. Now that things are already not working, so let's try the auto merge inventory there, and then the slash auto inventory here, and then get rid of this line entirely, and see if that works. So we need to periodically be doing this number and seeing if we can scrounge up some stuff. Okay, onward with our Batwing Crunchy creations. We have 53 more to go. It goes very quickly though, so it's not really a problem. All right. Yeah, it's like it's kind of pros and cons. I'm thinking about it. In EverQuest 2, doing the crafting is like it's like fighting. It's like it's very interactive. And here, you just like click a button, but at the same time it's involved, right? Because you have all of these other things coming into play, like where do you get a pot from? Well, you have to make a pot, or you have to buy a pot from someone else or whatever, but you don't just have what you need for that. And it comes more into play when you have to have like the sub-combines. You've got to either make the sub-combines, buy them from another player, and it adds a different element. It's true to an extent that you have some of that in EverQuest 2, depending on what you're making. But this is many of the items. It's not just that stuff dropped and you went and harvested stuff and now you can make stuff. You can, but a lot of the stuff requires that there's a little bit more effort put into it than that. So while you're not battling each item, you are having to put out effort in a different way, and there's a larger pool of knowledge that's needed in order to find out exactly what is on the merchant, what is something that you need to make yourself, and what is something that drops from creatures, I don't know, it's a little more knowledge based in that regard. We're definitely going through this frosting. I knew we were going to need a lot of frosting. I didn't realize quite how much. And certainly I'm going to need to, next time I go to Ogre, throw some more money into this frosting business. So, very nice. How many have I made here of the Batwings, and how much do they stack? We've got Batwing Crunchies. Well, this is also Batwing Crunchies. It didn't stack for reasons unknown, but it did stack when I just stuck it together. So we have 47 of them at the moment. Cool. While we're just standing here, I wonder if I should use that opportunity to maybe drink some, I don't know, should I drink some Ogre Swill? I could do. I don't want to drink the fruit juice, obviously. But maybe Ogre Swill seems reasonable. I did have to use, okay. Let's have a look at what we have right here and see how it changes our stats. So HP is at 924, mana is at 539. Okay, let's look at strength. We've got 189, stamina 163, right? So 189, 163. Let's drink one. Alright, so it went up 2 points in strength and stamina, Intelligence went down, I don't know how much, but significantly. And of course, we're not doing well as far as the drunkenness goes. It put us in first person like it does, and it makes us sort of jiggle every time we move. But that's okay, because we're not planning to move very much right now. Now, it doesn't last very long from my experience, the drunkenness or those stat benefits, but you might could use it right before you go into into a battle. All right. Now, let's see. Batwing Crunchies, we can continue on with. I think that the stamina has already gone down a tick, and so is the strength. I'm assuming our drunkenness did as well. Probably our dexterity and agility, wisdom, and intelligence have recovered somewhat. I think actually that it may have been just the intelligence and wisdom that went down, not sure. I didn't pay enough attention to those bottom things. At some point, maybe I'll come and look back over this and see if I can find what changed and what didn't. But it would be good to know what exactly happens when you drink different alcohols. So that was, in this case, that was the Ogre. Is it called Ogre Swill? Yes, Ogre Swill. Something went wrong there. Let's see. All right. Something definitely occurred, but we will try again. Search recipes, and we've got Batwing Crunchies. Combine. Made nothing again. Definitely going slow on creation, and you know, I'm making them most of the time, and sometimes not, which goes along with the 66% I should be making it 2 out of 3 times. Oh, maybe that's right, because I went a good stretch without making any. Now I'm going a good stretch making some. I think that might even out decently. I only have 5 of the bat wings left. I'm gonna not worry about keeping any because I do intend to hunt some more bats soon enough. So, all right, almost done here, and then we'll see what we can pickle down here. Okay, we didn't have most of that. We did have some frog luck, and then we used it. Let's get this gator. Pickled gator, and we're not quite okay. We got like not quite half, you know, 1 out of 2 chance. We did make some. That's awesome. So we got 2 pickled gators on that deal. One meat, 2 pickled gators. Nice. We'd use a jug of sauces and a bottle of vinegar or a little bit of vinegar. I'm not sure how that works. And then 1 gator meat to make that. Now we've got a lot of lizards we can use. Anything else? No, just lizards. That's all right. I'm cool with lizards. Let's go with it. See if we can get our baking up a little bit. I think it's gonna happen. All right. Definitely gonna need to buy some more. Oh, look at that. We completed our baking achievement. Got to 50 skill points. I don't have any idea. Let's click on it. It says, okay, trade skill baking completed. And it's got today's date and time. This achievement is completed by reaching 50 skill in baking. And let's view mine. I don't know exactly what view mine means, but I've seen it before. Why is it a mine? Don't know. Is it, does that mean mine as in I own it? Like these are my achievements? What does it mean? I don't know. Oh, weird. We have all kinds of different things on this list of categories for achievements. We've got untapped potential, whatever that means. We've got general, okay, trade skill, slayer, and EverQuest. Okay. Baking. Do we get anything for that? Or is it just, you know, you have an achievement now? Let's see. Well, we'll get different achievements along the way, it looks like. Yeah, don't know, summary. Okay, this is a summary of what we've achieved in different things, it looks like. So untapped potential, we've finished 3 things. General, we've finished 3 things. Trade skill, 2 things. Slayer, now, I feel like we did... yeah, okay, I feel like we did get Slayer status on some bats. But what I'm seeing is, this says skill, 3 out of 70. I wonder what that means. No idea. Okay, I see that for the trade skill, it's breaking it down into which things we've gotten rewards for. Fishing counts as a trade skill. Who knew? I thought that, I didn't realize that fishing was a trade skill. Interesting. So now, okay, quests is also a trade skill. Now, my understanding was that you could only get 1 trade skill up above level or skill 200. Does that mean that fishing will cap at 200 if we have something else that we've skilled up more? Or if we get our fishing up beyond 200, does that mean that we can't move any other kind of craft up beyond 200? This is something that I need to find out for sure. Ace says, good afternoon. Hope your day is going well. My day is so far so good. Hopefully yours is going well as well. Alright, so Slayer status. I'm a little uncertain of. Does that mean that I have... No, I don't know. It's 3 out of 70 Slayer skill. Alright, and then EverQuest, we've got 3 out of 123 of those done. And it's very... I'm uncertain, right? Because it says 3 out of 123, but the only thing that we have marked on here is exploration, which is 17 out of 102. Nothing in these subcategories adds up to 3, and 17 is definitively more than 3. So I'm a little lost there. What does the 3 mean? I don't know. Let's click on EverQuest. Let's see here. We've got general. Okay, hold on. Nope. So it's not, this is... Okay, it's showing up there. Let's go to achievements. Nah, no idea. No idea. Progression, 28 out of 493. The math isn't mathing. I don't understand. Alright. White Owl says, in EQ1, you could get all trade skills to max. Only class-specific trade skills were restricted. Okay. Interesting. Class-specific trade skills. Okay, so if you were a gnome, and you're doing tinkering, right? That's the only one that I know of. Okay, no, that's not true. Is it druids and rangers that can do poisons? Can anybody else do poisons, or is that the only ones? Or is that the wrong thing that I'm thinking about entirely? I hear things here and there, and my knowledge is very limited. So, okay, we got the ripened heart fruit on our cursor. It did not auto inventory. In spite of my auto inventory attempts there. I've got auto merge inventory and I've got auto inventory. Neither of those made these go into the bag. I don't know if something is just broken with the auto inventory macro or what's going on. Neither the auto merge inventory nor the auto inventory made that go into my bag, so I can tell you that. Above the... Wow, my stream is doing things. Yeah, stream went down for a moment there. I'm not sure why. Looks like it's back up though. Might need to refresh the page, I'm not sure. Okay, let's accept this as it is. Come back over here because I wasn't done with my pickled beets, right? Got pickled stuff to make here. I think pickled blizzard meat was where we were at. Let's go back to it. Let's auto inventory this stuff. Okay, that time I scrounged up the morning dew and it seems to have gone into the bags without me doing anything. Now, why did that happen? No clue. It had been not working, then it did. No idea. So, getting plenty of pickled lizard meat. Or just pickled blizzard. I guess that makes sense. When you don't say, you don't need to say the meat part, right? Like pickled pig's feet, people eat that. They don't, well, okay. I mean, of course they wouldn't call it pickled pig's pig's feet meat, because, first of all, it's not just the meat that gets pickled in that regard. How many of you have had pickled pig's feet, by the way? I used to see it in the stores semi-regularly. I haven't seen any in the stores in quite some time. Then again, I don't exactly go looking for it personally. You know, some people like that kind of thing. It's not my preference. Now, I have a bunch of stuff, and I feel like I should try to find the bank and deposit some of it into the trade skill because some of it can be used to make other things. So, let's run around for a second like a fool, and then find the banker. Banker is this way. Yes, and running into people is also really, actually, as far as I can tell, a very important part of the game. I not only run into people, I also run into walls, doors, and sconces. Wall sconces are a big one for me. Above the chemist says, never eaten them, but have seen them in the store plenty. Yeah, that's been my take on them. I've never tried the pickled pig's feet. I have had pickled eggs. Okay, now, trick here. You've opened the door as an ogre, you can click on the door again, it starts to shut, and you can take that opportunity to go in. So, good to know. Alright, so let's come over to the banker. Let's check out the trade skill depot we've got here and try to just throw things into it. And if I would click shift first, then I could get whole stacks of it. I don't know that I need to carry around the water right now. Maybe I do, but I don't know that I do. So until I'm certain of it, I'm not going to. Of all kinds of stuff that's definitely going in. So, this stuff can be used, obviously, later on to make bigger and better things. Just this, I wonder. Just the spiderling legs. Spiderling legs do not go into the trade skill depot. I don't know if he would use them for anything or not. Just this pickled gator, okay. Pickled gator, that's the end of the road for the pickled stuff. You pickle it, and you're good to go. No more trade skilling from there. These guys here also don't go into there. Now, I don't know what I could use a rapid heart fruit for, because I'm not a druid or a ranger. But maybe, you know, I might someday become a druid or a ranger, right? So I guess I should keep it, at least for now. It also looks as though I don't have any, I don't have anything remaining that goes into the trade skill depot. I don't know if we can eat the fish scales. I feel like we can't. Let's put them first. I think that I tried this before and it did not work, putting the fish in there. But let's arrange it like so, I think, so that it'll be consumed hopefully in that order. We do have the bottle of Kalish, which is an alcoholic beverage, I believe. Maybe not, but I think it might be. Alright, so I think we're pretty well good on that. We have plenty of room in the trade skill depot right now. I have some Vapors that I was unaware of. I'm going to definitely withdraw all of those, because we can turn those in for credit. What this implies is that I was getting Vapor over in Ogre area just fine. and I'm having more trouble getting that bat fur over here. So I might want to go and hunt that area for my bat fur, and then I can come back and turn it in to the merchant here who wants it, or the guild master who wants it. White Owl says getting pigs lickled is easy enough. And just give them lots of fermented fruit. It's getting the feet off of once the pig is pickled that is a bit harder. I see. Yes. And then he says, have you looked up recipes on EQ Traders? No, I haven't. I so far I've just been enjoying the stumbling around process with just some, in the interaction with you guys on what to do, and people, I don't know, it's just sort of getting into the, I guess the immersion part of things a little bit. So I haven't, I've tried to avoid looking anything up for now. At some point, I'm sure I will, but for now, I feel like it's okay. I'm just sort of stumbling around and trying to find things out. Spiderling legs. What can one use a spiderling leg for one wonders? One doesn't know, so one throws it in the auto bait. There. Yeah. Also have an orc hatchet, and I feel like I had another orc hatchet hanging around. There it is. Found it. So let's auto merge this. Or not auto, just merge it. No auto to it. It's a manual merge, if you will. And then we'll auto bank that again. Now what's interesting is when I auto banked both of those items, neither of them went into a bag. You would think that the first thing it would do would be to throw them into a bag. That's not what happened to. So I'm going to manually rebate and try to make better use of these bags. All right. Well, there we go, I think. Let's open those bags back up and have a look. Okay, get rid of this screen, and then, yeah, I mean, that looks kind of okay. The only problem that I'm seeing currently is that I don't have anything to drink, which is an issue. So let's, move some of this stuff back up, and then, pull something to drink out of the bank here. Not the bank, the trade skill people. No? Yes, trade skill people. Alright, we got some bog juice. I don't really remember exactly what bog juice was. Does that count as food and drink? Or I think so. I think bog juice was one of the ones, but let's withdraw the stack of it. Probably we could drink a bottle of milk just as easily as water, but I think the bottle of milk costs a little more. I'm not sure if it does any better or not. Anything else I might want to bring, just in case the bog juice doesn't work? I need some backup drink. Flask of berry juice, that'll definitely work. So let's withdraw some berry juice. I accidentally only withdrew one because I pressed Control instead of Shift. Alright, let's see, is there anything else that I might want to bring along with me? There's definitely some various ales that I could bring. Say I was going to fight something hard, I could use it to improve strength and stamina just a little bit. I'm not sure about that. I gotta think about that, whether that's a good idea or not. We have a jug of mead here. I think that the mead is not wonderfully good. I don't know. I think that because you can buy all of the ingredients off of the merchant, that surely it doesn't do a whole lot. I'm not sure though. The Ogre Swill definitely bumped us up a couple of points, so that's somewhat meaningful. You could probably, I don't know how much they stack. How many Ogre Swill does it take to get 10 points? Would it take 5 and then get 10? Is it a direct, like a direct return? Or does it stack and give you more? Does it have diminishing returns as you stack them, or does it stack at all? If these are all questions that I have, I don't know the answers. But, maybe it could come in handy. Not sure. I do want to keep the pods of water, I think, in there, and the flasks of water for now. I think I may just leave it like this and call it good enough. That seems like a grand plan, doesn't it? Yes, I like it. Let's do it. Excellent. So yeah, I'm not sure that the bats here are on the wrong side of that door. It's like waking up on the wrong side of the bed, but walking through the wrong side of the door. I always expect them to open, you know, from the right side for some reason. I guess. All right. So we did that. I did want to check and see, do I have safe fall? So let's go to the eye window. Let's go to skills, and then let's see if, you know, can we search in this window? I don't see any way to. All right, so we'll just go down to where it would say safe fall, and it does not say safe fall. So I'm assuming then that I don't have it. Will I get it? No idea. No idea whatsoever. But it doesn't really matter because we're a strong, tough ogre and can just fall to the ground and only take 300 damage. And not worry about it too much. Okay, so with that in mind, then the bats here are of less significance to me. So I don't feel like I'm getting the bat per drops. For whatever reason, I don't seem to be getting them per. I'm only getting them, as far as I can tell, in other regions than Greater Fadard. So, if you're looking for bat fur, it does not seem to be dropping, for me at least, in this zone, Greater Fadard. I didn't get any drops in other parts of Fador that I've been in either, where I've killed them. And again, I don't know if that, you know, I haven't hunted in those areas enough to know if that is across the board over there, but I feel like I have hunted them here in this zone enough to be pretty sure that that's the case. So, I might focus my attempts on the bats. I'm not going to avoid the bats, but I'm not going to focus on them. And let's see, what else do I need? I need these ruined wolf pelts. I've also had a lot of trouble getting ruined wolf pelts here. I haven't killed enough wolves to say. Definitely gotten plenty of spider eyes, spiderling eyes, and bone chips. The bone chips, I have most of them in my bags. The trade stuff deeper ones. And like I said, I'm not going to avoid these bats. I'm definitely going to get them. I just didn't see any real need for them at the time that I got them. Now I do need them, and I could pull them out, but I haven't done so. And I know that I have plenty. I have more than I'll need for sure of the bone chips, so not terribly concerned about that. Let's go get this drake thing over here. I was gonna get the spiderling because I need those wood chips. Not wood chips. Man, my brain, I tell you what. The spiderling eyes, that's the ones that we need. Alright, once more, I have a habit of clicking the button too soon after I stop and too soon after casting, and it seems to interrupt me. So even if it's finished with the auditory sound, you know, the sound, it can move before it actually throws it into your window, your extended targets window, then it doesn't go through and it says it's interrupted. Such has been my experience anyway. So you have to come to a complete stop, press your button, then wait for a moment for it to show up in the window. Probably I should switch to a different difficulty level most of the time in places like this, but you know, I'm not sure that it matters. I know that you get increased drop rates and things like that if you have done so, but these are, you know, these are great guys anyway, for the most part, that I'm attacking. Because I'm just trying to get body parts off of them, essentially. And I don't know if it increases the drop rate of those. Would I get more? I don't know. I'm not sure that I would. And it just would go a little slower, I think. So I feel like difficulty 0 is actually fairly fine, considering that. I also wonder how much do, like, what's the maximum number of things you can item and stack in the trade stub vehicle, or is it just infinite? You can add as many as you want. Okay, here's some guards. Let's hop over to this Falworth area here, because the merchant there does sell to us, and he, you know, he's expensive, obviously, comparatively to Ogre, but he will sell things. And I find that a lot of people trade in their items to him, and so he has stuff on his person. And there's another thing that I've seen, which is that you can switch instances by switching your difficulty level, right? So hold on a moment. Let me see what we've got here. We've got some aviac eggs, and that's interesting, because I think we could make some noodles and stuff out of it. But do I want to spend a gold and 9 silver and 2 copper just for an aviac egg? Not sure that I do. Bat fur? Yeah, we'll buy that, sure, because it's hard to come by here. So we spent 7 silver and 6 copper on some bat fur, getting us a little further on our path to citizenship, you know? It implies that someone is getting some bat fur somewhere around here. Maybe. Alright, what else might I want while I'm here? Various things we could get, but I don't know that I necessarily want most of it. It's cool, all the different things that are available. Do need to go fishing. There's some water right over there, I noticed. Can't help but notice. And so I may very well do so. Cobalt meat. I wonder if you can pickle some cobalt. I didn't notice if cobalt was on the menu. Could do it. 1 silver and 2 copper each isn't bad. A couple of large bags for sale. Wouldn't hurt to have, but I'm not in any hurry, really. Got some rat ears there. That's good for edible goo. You know what? I think I might get some. Sure, let's grab those rat ears. Wow, royal jelly is expensive. 2 gold, 5 silver, 7 copper. I don't really need the royal jelly. Rusty swords of various kinds and different gear pieces there. Got some snake eggs. They're very cheap. Let's grab those. Then we can make some noodles and omelets and things, right? Got some spiderling eyes. I don't really necessarily need them, because I have 32 of them, but I'll buy them anyway. Maybe it'll cut down on the amount of spider hunting I do. And honestly, if I'm going to get the faction up on this server, it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of help like that. What we don't have, I notice, is any ruined wolf pelts. Aurora Adastra says, hello, how's your EQL adventure today? It's going wonderfully. Have you been playing? Alright, let's see. Got all that. Looks good. I don't think I want to spend the 1 gold, 9 silver, and 2 copper for Navy okay? Aurora says, yay, yep, I've been enjoying it. Excellent. Good to hear. Let's come over here and try to do a little bit of fishing off of this nice little area here. Right by that guy. Seems safe. Only I have to press the right button. That's key. Alright, let's trade this with the sword. And we'll just put it right back. No, we'll put it right there, and hopefully I'll remember what I was using. You never know. Alright, so let's do a wee bit of fishing here. And it'll also be interesting to see if the auto inventory works on this or not. So we've cast our line. Will we catch anything in this moat? We did. We got fish scales, and it did auto inventory. So, what's the difference between this and the foraging? I guess, okay, got the tattered cloth sandal there. Alright, scrounged up roots, and that time it did go into the bags. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is. Don't know why it was staying on the cursor. Seems to have cleared up, maybe? Possibly. Aurora, what server are you on? And what's your classes and all that? Lenadin says, hi there, Zini. Just browsing? Have you seen the fire beetle eye I just got in? We didn't catch anything, but we did become better at fishing. I wonder if you're more likely to catch things like sandals and rusty weapons and things if you're near to a town. Because that would be super cool if it was like, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you don't catch that sort of thing as often, you just catch things like fish. But if you're near town, then you get, like, you know, detritus. It would be interesting. We've gotten better at fishing up to skill level 90 now. I think that the fishing, you know, probably you get different kinds of fish in different places is my deep thought on it. Because I've noticed with the foraging, you definitely seem to get different, and I don't know if it's the place that we're at, or if it's just that my skill is going up, and so I have more access to more things. I'm not really sure how that works on either point. But hopefully I will find out. I spilled my beer while bringing in the line, apparently. I also spilled my beer while bringing in the line a little bit ago. Lost my belt, it said, which is interesting. I didn't even know. Well, okay. I was going to say I didn't even know I had a belt, but yeah, sure I did. Of course, I put the belt on days ago. It's an interesting thing to think about. We're not exactly sleeping in this game. How long have we had this gear on? Who knows? Who knows? Years, maybe. Alright. Now. Definitely, have a good bit of stuff in the inventory already. considering that I just cleared it out, we got some tattered cloth sandals there. So what have I caught here? I feel like maybe I've caught fish scales, tattered cloth sandals, and tattered cloth sandals. That's it. That's been the catch. What can one do with tattered cloth sandals, one wonders? Also, the fish scales did not seem to go into the inventory yet. So the question is it because I already had fish scales? Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure. The auto merge inventory is definitely not working properly. I've tried it over a few different days, and I have not seen any evidence that it's working properly at all. But the auto inventory in most things is, just not the auto merge inventory. So this is fresh fish. We can use it to make other kinds of things later on at the stove, like including like fish head stew or something like that. Okay, we got 2 fresh fish. They did not stack. I'm not sure what happens if you already have something on your cursor and then you get something else on your cursor. Aurora says, fishing seems relaxing. I haven't tried it yet. Yes, but you do have to put your fishing pole into your primary or secondary slot. And so you're going to not have that weapon in that time period. And so you can be attacked while you're out fishing in the wild. And so be aware of that before you start on your fishing journey. And it definitely takes a little while. So what I've done is set up a macro here with my fishing, and it looks like this because I found that doing the pause 120 was about right, because I think it's somewhere around 12 seconds that you wait. You might could do it a little shorter. I'm not really sure, but 120 works pretty well. Aurora says, I'd probably forget it was equipped. Yes, that is easy to do, and you can visually see it, but like in your hand, right? But I'm just not very visually observant or something. I don't often see things like that, if that makes sense. But the reason that I have this set up like this was because I was trying different things out when I made this macro, and I wanted to try to merge the inventory in case I already had the fish in question. It would just merge it with one I already had. That was my goal, but unfortunately that part is not working, so I'm just auto inventorying for the most part, and then we can come back and stack it like so. Would be nice if the auto merge was working properly, but you can't have everything in life, right? You also need fishing bait before you come out fishing, and you have to actually have it on your person. Having it in your depot is insufficient. Aurora says maybe you can suggest it on the EQL Discord. Sure, we can try to do that, yeah. Because I don't know how many people have tried to use the auto merge feature. But hopefully they can get that fixed for sure. Fishing is up to 99 now. Hopefully that means that I'll have a little bit better success rate, and maybe we can get some, some higher quality stuff is what I'm hoping. Don't know. I'm not sure if that works like that or not. Feels like 100 should be a threshold. Looks like I did get an achievement for hitting level 1, or skill level 100. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll get better fish, or more often we'll succeed at catching fish. Something. Looks like I'll have to take off here pretty soon. So I have some things I've got to get done, and it's 1:36 p.m. What was that? Okay, that was my ultimate achievements. Oh, thank you for the follow. Alright, so I also recommend putting foraging on the movement keys. Somebody had told me about that, and it's a very good idea to bind it. I actually have it bound to my forward and to my turning to the right keys, because that way I have more chance of actually having it trigger. Because when you're going forward, I find that I'll either hold down the forward button for a long period of time, in which case, it only triggers the once that when you press it, or I end up clicking the middle mouse button or something of that nature, and so I'm auto running for a lot of the time. And so if I have it on that button, but I also have it on my turn key, so that when I turn my viewpoint using the keyboard, it triggers that way too. That is helpful. And I don't know if I could bind it to my middle mouse button. Maybe I could. I'm not sure if that works or not. Aurora says, it used to have forage and sense heading bound to movement keys, but I don't think sense heading matters on this version. That is correct, because everyone can get a navigation tab, which, by the way, I lost mine. I don't know how, but it's a compass. And maybe, here we go, Alt-D. There we are. Now I've got it back. All right, so Alt-D. That would be the problem. I was thinking in for navigation, which is what I have it on as on EverQuest 2, and apparently it's D. I suppose for direction, that makes sense too, right? Aurora says levels up so fast. It does, yeah, fishing levels up very quickly. And I've found that a lot of the skills level up very quickly. But yeah, I've gotten a few fish out of the deal. Got some tattered sandals and some rusty stuff. We can turn this rusty daggers into some ore later on, and ultimately into some metal sheets or metal bits. Because I may want to make some things, maybe I want to make some files and stuff like that. So I may go that direction with it next time I do the breaking down of the rusty bits. But either way, you can turn it into bricks and then decide where to go from there. I haven't tried making the blocks yet. Blocks of ore. I assume that the blocks are made from bricks, right? But I'm not sure. Now you'll notice at that time, my fish did not auto-inventory, and I don't know why. Fish scales just stayed on the cursor. No idea what determines whether that happens or not. But I'm getting a good collection of fish scales. For what use they are, I don't know. It says quest. So I guess somebody would like some fish scales. Not sure I wanted any. Alright, let's give it 2 more casts. And then I better get off for a while and get some other things done and hopefully be back later on. We'll see. You never know. My life is a mystery. Got some more tattered cloth sandal. That's exciting. Okay, so we'll fish this time. See what happens. Another tattered cloth sandal. Well, how wonderful. Oh, and we scrounged up some fishing grubs. That's nice. I don't think that I've ever scrounged up grubs before. Ammo? Oh, how interesting. My mind is currently blown. Why? Why is fishing grubs ammo? It's in my ammo slot. Huh. We're gonna throw them at people? If I had a satchel? Okay, so if I had a sling, could I throw fishing grubs at the enemy? That is the question. Maybe. Maybe so. How amusing. Alright, well, interesting. Never would have guessed that. Okay. I consolidate this stuff and then I want to put this back where my fishing rod is, because I don't want to go around logging in next time with the fishing rod and not realizing it. Above the chemist says fish scales used to be required for the underwater breathing spell. I'm not sure if that's still the case. Interesting. That's very interesting. I don't have an underwater breathing spell, but I might eventually get one. Who knows? And if so, by gosh, I'll have some fish scales ready and waiting. 10 of them at least. Yeah, that is interesting. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and call it for now. It was a pleasure streaming with you guys, and always very good information that I'm given and interesting conversation overall. But I better take off and get some things done in real life. Hopefully I'll be back this afternoon and we'll see. If you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on notifications so that you see it the next time that I go live. Hopefully I'll see you all then. For now,